Brad, thanks for hopping on. I figured it's great to kind of give a half year update, where things are at, before of course we start trading again relatively soon. First things first, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really good, Jason. It's starting to get nice in Vancouver. We've gone through a bit of a January, but the weather's starting to turn, so makes getting back to work that much easier. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. I mean, no complaints. We were chatting. It's warm. It's warm in Toronto, so no complaints here. Patio's finally opening, so things are good. Things are good. But I guess let's kick things off here. So, what do you want to go over first? Do you want to give people an update? Do you want to go over some of the economics?
There's really three things I want to target on. Just give everybody an update, I guess, on the resumption of trading, where we stand, talk a little bit about Eagle River, the exploration plans, and then give an update on Montauban and again, the progress we've made in that project. So the first thing, and the most important thing for us right now is to get back trading. It's taken a little while longer than we had hoped, but that's also a positive, because what it's done for the company is it allowed us to spend the time to build the right back office infrastructure so that we can go from a junior exploration company to an operating mining company. And we're going to have to do that in the next 6 months. So going through this process, going through with the auditors, cleaning up the books, removing assets that we had considered interesting, but not part of our core focus. You'll see that on the balance sheet when we come out, that we'll be focusing on Eagle Hill and on Montauban. So it's taken a while, but we have now completed all the information requests to the auditors. They're just reviewing the financials, reviewing what we've provided. We should be filing very, very shortly. And the way this process works is we will go through, complete our year-end audited financial statements signed off by the audit committee. We'll then file those plus the quarterly financial statements that are outstanding to the BC Securities Commission and at the same time the TSX Venture. And once the BC Securities Commission approves our filings, then we will resume trading. In this case, since it's simply a delay in filing the financials, I've been advised by counsel that they don't foresee any extreme delays in granting that resumption of trading, anywhere between 2 and 5 days from our filings. But what I'll do once we have finalized the financials with the auditors, and filed, I'll issue a press release and give everyone a bit of an update on where we stand in written form. So we should be up and trading very shortly. I guess that's the long and short of it. And in the meantime, we put the right people, we put the right infrastructure in place to help us expand the business, which we're going to have to do over the next 6 months.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm sure we'll do another video when of course you're trading, and we can go into the full details there, and maybe some of the what happens. But that's great. Obviously being trading soon is awesome, and that's what people want. You want to go into some of the other updates, I guess?
Sure, but just actually, it just made me think of something. One thing that I want everybody to understand is the company itself is going through a fundamental shift, and it's one that we're going to have to get the news across to the shareholders, not only our current ones, but future ones. We hope there will be quite a few future ones. We're going from a junior resource exploration company to a near production gold mine company. So that in itself is a fundamental shift on the type of investor we're going to be looking for. We have in the past looked for the resource exploration, I guess, non-risk adverse type of investor who are willing to take a bit of a gamble that will be able to put together the right exploration plan and find the resources that we hope. We still have that blue sky with our Eagle River project, and I'll talk about that in a second. But in addition, we changed that, I guess, investment psyche where we've de-risked some of that potential or gold resource potential by operating a production mill within the next 6 months. So we will actually be into earnings this time next year. So that shareholder expectation curve has been reduced significantly from what would normally be about 4 or 5 year span to roughly about 6 months. So for us as a company, we're going to have to be targeting those investors that are interested in a less risky project and one that can produce earnings quite quickly, especially in these incredible gold markets. Just before we came online, gold was currently trading at $1,761, up again today. I'll get into a little bit of the economics down the road, but we can leverage that hugely on some of the progress that we're going to make at Montauban and at Eagle River.
Yeah, no, awesome. We'll leave that for a segment later, and people can look forward to that, and I'm sure we'll clip it out as well. So let's hop into kind of, I guess, general updates. You sent me an overview. The first thing I see here on the list is your office setup. Do you guys want to chat about that, or did you kind of already cover that in the filing process?
No, it's that. Just to expand upon that, what we're doing is we're putting together a comprehensive operating team, and we will be expanding, and those announcements will come as soon as the cease trade order is lifted. But everything from general day-to-day operations to new CFO, new accounting procedures, corporate governance that we've already got in place, just further expansion of regular operating type positions. So there will be a series of announcements, not only on the advisory board, but actual employees that are coming on as soon as the cease trade order is taken off. So it's been a very busy time. It's been an exciting time. I think people are looking forward to the cease trade order to be taken off, as our investors are, I'm sure, because I think they will see that the market will deem that we're more valuable than we have been just with exploration projects. So it will be an exciting time. But that's probably a good segue to get into the Eagle River project. Speaking of exploration, one thing that we do want to do is make sure that we maintain those claims and expand upon those. Currently, we have roughly 12,000 hectares of claims just adjacent to the Osisko Windfall Lake project. So it's adjacent to Windfall Lake and the Bontero Mednor properties up at Windfall. We continue towards the southwest side, and through a company called Longford Exploration, who has worked with us in the past, we've developed quite an extensive exploration program where we're going to be going back and reviewing the information we've had from till sampling and also VTEM, and do a more detailed surface sampling program during September. Timing, I think, is perfect for us. And from that, we will then develop an extensive drill program. We pretty much understand where our targets are right now. We just want to define those so that we do a bit more of a systematic exploration program than normal. And we should be drilling sometime in the late winter, early spring. And that's exciting for us. Just to remind everybody about Windfall Lake. It was a property that I did some exploration with on my previous company called Eagle Hill Exploration. We took a property that was on care and maintenance, did some exploration over 5 years, developed a feasibility study where we had 2 million ounces of gold, and then basically passed it over to Osisko, who's now taken what my company was at about a 50 million market cap at the time that Osisko took it over. It's now their primary asset, and they're currently trading at $2.4 billion market cap. So going from 50 million to 2.4 billion is something I'd like to replicate in Secova. But and I think we've got a very good opportunity to do that. Currently, there's over 300 people working on exploration at the property. And I think our Eagle River project has never been explored before, has never been drilled before. Once we come up with some good results after doing a systematic exploration program, then I think we'll be able to add some value to that area, which I think will be the next gold camp in North America.
Awesome. I mean, hey, you touched on your experience, familiar area for you, but maybe not for other people. So that's awesome. Obviously, yeah, going from $50 million to 2.5 billion is definitely a great goal to have. I'm very happy that you have that goal as well. Is there anything else you want to touch on in terms of, I guess, the exploration? You said you're gonna hopefully do drilling, the winter or early next spring. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
Sure, just go on the timing on that. The surface exploration in September is perfect time. It's a little bit cooler. It's still very easy to get around in the area. There's quite a few lakes. Quite honestly, there's a lot fewer flies. So it is a good time. There's no restrictions as far as exploration goes now because of COVID, but we really haven't missed any opportunities, or I think our timing is probably perfect for that. From that, it will take 6 weeks after we do the exploration to compile the results and come up with a drill program. And what we would want to do is wait. As I mentioned, there are some lakes in the area. We want to wait until the freeze has hit that area. That makes it significantly easier to do drilling and exploration because you can move or sled over the drills to the new drill locations as opposed to swamping through the mud. So timing, if all goes well, we should have some fairly good drill results by next year's PDAC, if there is a next year's PDAC. But we're talking early spring.
Awesome. Well, I think makes a lot of sense, and for people that weren't familiar with the area, now you kind of gave them the insight, which is great. I guess the next step, we want to go over obviously, I guess, current economics in the market. Where are things at? Do we want to do a little segue? Do you want to go through the kind of the math on gold and silver and where that puts you today?
Okay, this is especially important because of the acquisition of the Montauban project. Montauban really it will be able to be a mill either for the Eagle River project, for our Montauban mine, or for other mines in the area. We'll be developing the mill. It'll be 1,000 tons a day. It's fully permitted for this. We're currently in the engineering stage of developing the blueprints. We've sourced all the equipment that we need. It will be a combination of new and partially used or refurbished. We will have the engineering completed by the end of July. There's been no delays because of COVID, because all that work can be done off-site. There is no construction ban in Quebec now, so if the restrictions in COVID in Quebec are still there for other things, we will be able to continue construction, which we anticipate starting in August. We will put the process out for bids at the end of July. Hopefully that will only be a 2-week period, then start construction mid-August, beginning September. And we anticipate 3 to 4 months on a conservative basis. That's one group per day doing the construction for a period of 3 months. So if we push things, and I was going to say with luck, but not with luck, but as far as timing goes, we should be in production by the end of the year. So nothing's changed in that regard. Now, it's a nice segue because this is the very easy part about the job, and that's talking about the economics of the project. So we've got bear with me for a sec, I'll just go through the steps, but if you follow, it's relatively simple. We've got an asset there, a resource, that's sitting there that has gold and silver in it. And that we're going to process that These are tailings. So it's from an old mine that was around for about 80 years. And we're going to reprocess this because it currently has, and there's a scientific report on this, an NI 43101 that shows that there's 1 gram a ton gold equivalent. And when we process that at 1,000 tons a day, that should generate about 35 ounces of gold equivalent on a daily basis. And currently, where the market is, and we talked briefly on it, it's now at $1,761 an ounce. When you apply the Canadian dollar exchange rate with the US, it means that we'll be generating roughly $84,392 per day in revenue. Our operating costs for that one day to extract those 35 ounces of gold is roughly $19,810. So we've even got that pegged. So that leaves us roughly $65,000 of earnings, operating earnings. A lot of that will be applied to, not a lot of that, some of that, a small portion of that actually will be applied to the exploration to Eagle River, but we'll also be doing some more exploring at Montauban. What we're going to do is do some exploration at Montauban because near surface 43101 shows that from about 0 to 15 meters below surface, there's roughly about 3.6 grams a ton gold. We just don't know what the size of that resource is. So we'll be doing some exploration on that once we start getting earnings. So I think the key on this thing is the development of the company now. Once this seized trade order is off, we have the infrastructure to move the company forward quickly. We will be doing a financing as soon as the seized trade order is lifted. It's going to be a relatively small one. It's going to be $500 to $1 million. And that's simply to complete the engineering, is to complete some of the short-term leases and permits that are required, and our obligations under the contract with DNA Canada, who we're acquiring Montauban from. And that gets us through the tendering stage. We'll then do, again, another financing to purchase the equipment and to install, but that CapEx has gone from about $7 million to about $3 million through some non-dilutive financing that we've been able to arrange. So we're really not looking at a significant dilution factor for the company. And once we're up and operating, any other expansion plans, any other exploration plans will be self-funded. So we've been able to reduce the dilution factor considerably from what we had talked about in the past. So although it's been a little while since we've traded, I think we've actually done quite a bit to help the shareholders right now to generate value for your shares. And we look forward to being able to prove that in the next 6 months or so.